Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, good night, good whatever. My name is Jason Weiss, and I am your host for the Ask Jason Weiss Show. I am an attorney. However, nothing I say is legal advice. Nothing should be relied upon as legal advice. Nothing today is legal advice. You have not hired me. There is no attorney-client privilege. There is nothing that you should rely upon that I say. Consult an attorney anytime you have legal questions. I'm more than happy to chat with you if you need help in Florida, but nothing today is legal advice. So today I get to talk about two great things in my world. I get to talk about trying to build a brand and get some presence out there. And I also get to talk about lacrosse, because those of you that listen regularly, you know I like to bring that in, and that's one of the things I do. So today, I get to cross-sell those two, and we get to talk about social media marketing with Nicholas Zukauskas, and I got that right because I've only been working with Nick for years with my son in lacrosse. Nick is a former D2 lacrosse player. Nick is involved in social media marketing with his new upstart company called Mahi Media. And Nick is also, I'm not going to say attached at the hip, but part of my world, because he is a coach and at least a director within South Florida of a group called Eclipse Lacrosse. Those of you that listen and are up north, you all know them. They're a Connecticut powerhouse. Before you know it, they're going to also be a South Florida powerhouse. So without any further ado, Nick, thank you for joining the show today.
Of course, Jason, thank you for having me. Very honored to be a guest. Like you mentioned, we've been working together for years, so it's great to finally sit down and talk with you. Really excited to be on the show. Jason introduced me a little bit, but my name is Nicholas Zukauskas. I'm the CEO of Mahi Media. We're a full-scale marketing agency. I'm originally from Southington, Connecticut. Jason talked a little bit about Eclipse Lacrosse. I also coach lacrosse on the side. Lacrosse was actually the thing that got me down to South Florida to begin with. I attended Lynn University. I graduated this past year in January. Started the company right after I graduated. Really kind of got right into it as soon as I graduated. I thought there was no better time to kind of start something. Either it's going to work and it's great, or you're right out of college and you fail and you end up going and getting a job. So I thought there was no better time to try it. And 8 months later now, things have gone kind of crazy and it's really going well, and kind of never looked back from the day we did it. So
let me ask you a question. At what age did you start playing organized sports or lacrosse? I don't know if you played something other than lacrosse. I only know Nick lacrosse. That's it.
So I also always played football throughout my whole life. I actually won 2 state championships in Connecticut. If anyone knows Southington High School in Connecticut, one of the powerhouses in football in Connecticut. Football is definitely not like it is down here in Florida. But still, we were a very good team, and still to this day, they're one of the best teams in the state. We almost won 3 in a row. So I had a very big background in football as well. Both my older brothers, one is 30, one is 26. So basically, I started playing sports as soon as I could walk. They got me a lacrosse stick in my hand as soon as I could walk. Got me on the football field as soon as I could walk. And basically, we were always playing in the backyard since day one. So I was lucky enough to have 2 older brothers. I always like to say we were a lacrosse family. My oldest brother played college football and lacrosse at Endicott College. He played Division III. And then my middle brother played Division I. He was actually a goaltender. And then I played Division II. So we all played at different levels. We all had different skills, all different positions. But I always like to say we're a nice lacrosse family. So,
but the point of my question behind it is, how do you think that you playing sports helped you become the business owner, the entrepreneur, and the man that you are today?
I would say one of the biggest things that I try to keep with anything I do in my life, whether it's work, sports, family, is just discipline. And that's something sports will engrave into you at a very young age. So obviously football was always strict with that, but lacrosse is just as strict. 6 a.m. lifts, early practices, just being on time. If you're not early, you're late. If you're on time, you're late. If you're late, you're forgotten. So something that was ingrained with me when I was very young in football, just discipline, that motivation when you're not motivated. Discipline is a different type of motivation. And I always just try to stay very disciplined in anything I'm doing, like I said, with work, getting things done every day, doing what we have to do. But yeah, sports, not even that, just the communication that I've learned with sports, how to communicate with a team is definitely something very big. If you can't work with a team, you're never going to have a successful company, successful business, or successful team if you're a coach. So you have to know how to communicate either as a leader or as a team member. And I think sports definitely help you with that. They teach you so many lessons throughout your life. But those are definitely two of the biggest things that I always try to carry with me as a business leader now, as an entrepreneur. Discipline in anything and everything I do, and then just open communication. You got to have good communication.
And you work with I guess kids of all ages, primarily like high school and middle school kids. Do you feel that that because you played at such a young level that you can remember back, oh, I remember all this and all that, or do you just like turn on the full business mode, treat them like adults, and sometimes forget?
No, it can definitely be easy to forget that they're kids a lot of the times, especially when I'm coaching younger kids. Have to kind of get in the back of my head and be like, okay, I forget they're 10 years old. They're not college athletes at the end of the day. Because I was only doing this 4 or 5 years ago, like you kind of said, I still think of myself as a player a lot of times when I'm out there. And as a player, you have certain standards, especially in a game like lacrosse, such a small community that it is. There's a lot of standards in the game, respecting the game. Lacrosse is a very historic game, so you want to do things right. And definitely as a coach, I see myself forgetting that a little bit time and treating them more like college athletes. And you're like, okay, you got to teach them as kids a little bit more. But I do mostly coach high school. I'm also the assistant coach at American Heritage School in Delray Beach. So I mostly do high school kids. And the main thing we're trying to get with them, even if they're not going to play at college, is just playing at a high level. Like I talked about, preparing them for work, for life. Sports are going to teach you a lot of lessons. And obviously everything that we're working on is not just to go play college lacrosse or anything. There's no professional lacrosse, so it's not like this is going to be.
That's not true. There's the PLL. There's the PLL.
Millions yet. So we're still more preparing them to be men. We're preparing them to go get a job, to go treat their family right, to do the right things. And I think sports are always a great way to kind of learn that and to prepare for that. So yeah, I always try to treat them as adults at the end of the day, because when I was in their shoes, I hated being treated like a kid. And especially that I am a little bit younger, a little closer in age to them. I can definitely relate to them a little bit more at times. But then you also have to come down with the big fist when they think you're a little too close. I never want to be that young coach. So that's definitely one thing I strive on, is trying to be a little more professional and not as close with them. But then at the end of the day, you still got to. Especially
it's funny. I forgot that you were an assistant coach over at Heritage. So quick shout out to Craig Fleischman, the head coach over there. Phenomenal man, great coach, and he's doing wonders with that program with you. It's great. Love it. I remember when I used to work with professional athletes regularly before I had all this gray hair. I was 24 years old, 25 years old, right out of law school, and I was working with players that were getting ready to go to the major league draft or the NFL draft or whatever it was, and we were able to connect because we had, a closeness in age. Now that I'm all gray and bearded and all that kind of stuff, they look at me differently. Now I'm the old wise man as opposed to the young kid running around and helping them. But one of the
Definitely.
things that, the younger generation, like yourself and those that are coming up is coming through is, social media and getting out there and name recognition and brand recognition and doing all this stuff where, you can build your own brand. I mean, you got TikTokers that are, 7 years, not seven, but, 15 years old and 16 years old and 20 years old making millions of bucks. And you got NIL deals, not in Florida because they're illegal, but a little birdie told me it looks like it's coming our way soon, but
I think they do it.
I do too.
NIL deals, all that is, especially what you said, every athlete, not even just athletes, every person, every individual is a brand in themselves nowadays.
The twins that played at
Cavaliers
UM
in Miami, they stopped they had one more year of eligibility. They could have played one more, but they were making so much money in sponsorships and deals and all that. They don't even need to go back. They're done.
No, they're done.
There's players that are in high school making millions of dollars, like you said, before they even step foot and play.
Not in Florida. It is still not allowed here. Mr. DeSantis, please go ahead and allow it in Florida. We want that. I've got a 6'3", 215-pound lacrosse player that would like an NIL deal, but it's not legal.
Mahi Media will sign some NIL deals.
There you go. So let's talk about for those that are listening to the show that don't know what NIL stands for or have kids and they're like, NIL, what the heck are they talking about? Why don't we dive into that? What is an NIL deal, assuming that of course you do, what NIL stands for, and then we'll chat a little bit about that, and then we'll talk about Mahi Media, how we can help people or you can help people. So what's an NIL deal?
So NIL is name, image, and likeliness. So
likeness. So name, image, and likeness.
Every single person is a brand, especially athletes. And that could be high school athletes, that could be youth athletes under 10 and all the way to college athletes. So no longer you need the NCAA to go make money and go be a professional athlete. You are professional the day you become an athlete. You can make money off of your name, Nick Zukauskas, your image, pictures of us playing, and then likeliness, meaning like your jersey, things people sell about you, your name in a video game. That's your likeliness.
And so the NCAA is now making millions, if not billions of dollars off the NIL, and they've always made it off the NIL, name, image, and likeness of players. Like the NCAA football game that, EA Sports put out, and they had, I think one year they had, somebody that was in a Florida Gators uniform, right? Well, if they were using that actual player, now that player would make money and the institution would make money. What was happening is
video game.
And what they were happening was just the institution was making money. So they made a change so that college athletes can make money. Some states allow high school athletes to make money. Now, what is the benefit and what is the downfall? I know one of the benefits is, someone that is looking to go to college and money is tight and they don't get the type of financial aid they want, they can supplement it with an NIL deal as long as their scholarships are stackable. And I just went through a whole thing, and I got to give a shout out to the regulatory and compliance person at Syracuse University. I've been to a lot of these things, and this gentleman, I think his name was AJ, more knowledgeable than most people on the planet when it came to this stuff. So he was awesome. And he was talking about the different NIL deals, stackable as opposed to unstackable, scholarships. This all makes a parent of a student athlete like mind blown that maybe I can get some financial assistance. So the name, image, and likeness, it has to do with getting your name, getting your image, getting your likeness, and getting paid for it. And you are allowed, not in Florida, but in other states, to accept money for the use. So if I am sitting here drinking a Coke Zero and I had a name, image, and likeness deal with Coke Zero, I could be getting paid.
Yeah, and you
Now,
can do ads for them. You could do a lot of things for them.
now the question becomes, why would they want me? Right now, they wouldn't want me, right? But if I start posting, and this is where someone like Nick comes into play, if I were to start posting that, I don't know, every time I win a case, I have a Coke Zero before, a Coke Zero during, and a Coke Zero after. And boy, this is my good luck charm. There's nothing in the recipe and there's nothing in it that helps me lose weight, look better, grow hair, whatever.
There's
But
the marketing aspect of
it's
it now.
my
Yeah.
good luck charm. Well, Coca-Cola could pay me for it if they wanted to. Now, how does Coca-Cola find out by like someone like me? I've composed. How far is that going to get me? Not very. I could write a script. I could write a book. I could be interviewed on podcasts. Okay, that scratches the surface. You really want to get out there? You hire Mahi Media. Now, what is Mahi Media? Now, keep in mind, I'm gonna let you tell a little bit about it. Then we're gonna break for commercial. And we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about all the different services. But why Mahi? What is Mahi Media?
So Mahi Media, we're a full-scale marketing agency. I always like to say we do a little bit of everything. Obviously, specifically, social media marketing is the biggest thing we do. We have about 5 to 6 different clients where we manage all their marketing. Again, mostly social media, but that means marketing from email campaigns, paid ads, ad strategy, email strategy. And that social media is not just Instagram and Facebook. That's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest, YouTube, Threads, the new one. We've been very big on Threads this past month. There's 7 to 8 different platforms now, and that's for each different company. So we do a little bit of everything. And then obviously the content creation part is the biggest thing for these companies. So like Jason said, trying to get your brand out there. And one of the biggest things with social media marketing is trying to get your brand out there in an organic way. Like I said, we do a lot of paid ads for people. We do a lot of email campaigns. Those are totally different. A lot of those are pay-per-click. You know what you're actually trying to get. You're targeting certain things. Social media is very general. It's organic. You're just putting things out there naturally, free for the most part. So that's what we talk about, trying to grow a brand. You're not always trying to sell a product on social media. You're trying to get your brand out there, trying to grow an audience, trying to get people to trust your brand, trust you, get engaged with your product, your services, whatever you're trying to offer. So that way, when they are ready to buy, they know who you are. They know who Jason Weiss is when they need general consulting, and they know who to go to. Versus we're throwing a product in their face every day, trying to sell you something 24/7. People don't go on social media to buy all the time. Yes, they end up buying plenty of times. Trust me, I buy things all the time off of TikTok ads. But those ads that end up getting me are usually the ones where you don't even realize you're in an ad. And that is the huge benefit of social media marketing, being able to get content out there that is an ad that really doesn't look like an ad. And people just think they're on social media. And usually that's all they're doing.
So we're going to talk about that in a minute. What we're going to do is we're going to go to an ad that is an ad.
So
we know it's
an
ad. Now. We're going to get an advertisement. We're going to get sponsors in here. We're going to break for that, and then we're going to come back. And the first question is going to be, tell me what's an ad without being an ad. Yeah. So let's thank our sponsors. Let's get a quick commercial break, and we'll be back in about 2 minutes. Stay tuned, where we're going to talk about Mahi Media and ads not being ads.
Gonna go get a Celsius. That's an ad.
Yeah, there you go.
Hi, I'm John Thomas. I want to share with you a professional products and services directory we call Going Solo Directory. And you need to check this out. If you want exposure to your business or are seeking professional product or services, this directory has it all. And that membership, for the many special features, you get the benefit of a worldwide exposure with a 40-minute video interview on an international business show showcase. All this for just one low annual fee. For more information, contact GoingSoloDirectory.com.
Welcome back. You're on the Ask Jason Weiss show with me, Jason Weiss, and my very special guest, Nick from Mahi Media. I didn't butcher his name the first time, so I'm not going to try again. You know, why fix something if it ain't broken? Although I am an attorney, nothing here today is legal advice. I'm not giving you legal advice. We're not doing any of that. We were talking about NIL deals and what I want to call like a soft sell marketing. And I don't know if that's an industry term or if that's what I want, but soft sell marketing. So Nick was talking a little bit about, you see something on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, and you're kind of like, that's pretty cool. I want that. That's soft sell marketing. So in my opinion. So Nick, tell us a little bit more about, you know, how Mahi Media can help you get out there, but not really be aggressively selling and maybe earn some money for yourself and hopefully for Mahi Media as well.
So yeah, definitely. The biggest thing, if you're trying to sell a product, all of that, like we talked about a little bit before, targeted ads, email campaigns. I think the biggest conversions you will always see will come from those paid ads and from email campaigns. So if you really want to see conversions, you really want to see sales, you're going to have a little bit of a budget to put into your marketing. You can't expect to put $0 into your marketing budget and get money back in return. You usually have to invest something to get something back. Like I was talking about pay-per-click, most of ad campaigns, email campaigns, it's all going to be pay-per-click. What we're talking about, organic social media.
For those people that don't know, I happen to now know, what is a pay-per-click?
So pay-per-click means we're trying to get someone to click our website, our link, whatever that link may lead to. Maybe it's a link to our profile. You can run an ad for plenty of different things. Usually if you're selling a product, a service, you're going to want them to go to your website, to whatever that checkout is, that product. That's where we want to get them to. Some people are just doing it to maybe grow their audience. Maybe that link is just going to be to their profile just to get them to go view you. So that pay-per-click, that click is going to be for what we were just talking about, to your website, to your product, and you will see the cost for each click that comes out. So each platform, each app that you're actually doing a campaign on, doing an ad on, there's a certain average pay-per-click. Usually it's around like $5 to $6 for Instagram. But you usually want to have around that average, or if not lower. If you're paying over $10, $15 for each one of your clicks, that's not a high conversion rate, and you're not really getting the conversions that you want, and that means your ad's not really working as well. The ultimate end goal in any ad you do is going to be conversions and high conversions in that. So getting that traffic to your website, getting that traffic to your product, getting people into what you want to sell. So if you're not fully getting that audience, you may have to change it up a little bit because you really want to make sure your pay-per-click is usually kind of low. So going off of that, your content matters the most. What you're actually putting into that ad. No longer can you just put up a plain graphic and say, hey, buy this. I'm just going to click on the next thing. You have to actually engage your audience. So the biggest thing, one of the most popular things in ads is video. Videography has completely taken over social media marketing. these past years, especially kind of going off of NLI deals with athletes, influencers. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of UCG, user-generated content. That's one of the bigger things. Okay, yes, I'll believe some $1 million influencer who boosted about your product, but maybe it's kind of clear that they were paid to do that. Versus, okay, Jason Weiss is marketing Coca-Cola bottle. Maybe he wasn't paid to do that. Maybe he just really genuinely likes Coca-Cola. That's a lot more believable, and that's a lot more user-generated content than paying influencers. So now more than ever, anyone can be an influencer. Anyone can be a content creator. And that's what we're talking about with NLI deals. You don't have to be a D1 top athlete. You can be a D3, D2 athlete. You can even be a club athlete. And you can still be getting these deals. You can still be a content creator. You can still be making a lot of money for your brand, for your personality. And brands, especially with UCG, they really want that small community type of influencers, type of creator. So maybe you only have 1,000 people, but you're going to be a lot more loyal.
What is the easiest and or best, because it may not be the same. So let's start with, if they are the same, you'll let me know. But if they're not, then let's go easiest and then best to increase your followers, to increase your views. And let's pick Instagram, for example. I mean, because it might, I'm guessing, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, it wouldn't be the same strategy on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and LinkedIn.
Definitely.
I'm assuming. So let's just say Instagram, right? You have, I don't know, 500 followers. You want to get to 1,000, I think, so that you could be like a preferred one, or I forget the term, but something.
So even from starting from scratch, we example of this, we had one of our clients who we just brought on about 2 months ago, started from scratch, 0 followers. 2 months later, they're almost at around like 1,000 to 2,000 followers. And it's not just followers. That's a real active community. So again, you never want to just get followers. That's never the ultimate goal. You want to build a community. You want to build an audience. So you want to really, really make sure that whatever your strategy is, whatever you're targeting your actual audience. The biggest mistake you can make in social media is just trying to get followers, just trying to get people to follow you and know your brand. And that's great. But if it's not your audience, you're never actually going to end up speaking to that audience, because you're speaking to them about the wrong thing. So building a loyal community, being active, I would always say, is the easiest way to grow. Not that it's ever easy to grow. Things take a long time. Like I said, that was only 2 months or so. Some companies, it's taken 6 to 8 months, and you see long-term growth over time. But again, the biggest thing, and that I've seen over my experience, is just being active, being loyal, being genuine. That's what I'm talking about, non-sales related stuff. People aren't on social media to buy stuff. They want to learn. They want to be inspired. They want to be motivated. They want to be engaged with. They want to feel like
sometimes they just want to be entertained. You know, my wife would probably kill me, but I know, you know, like when we get into bed at night, we'll turn on the TV. I'll fall asleep watching the news, and she'll watch reels for a little while because she finds it like soothing and relaxing, but informational. And then next thing you know, she's clicking on an ad for, you know, for this hair curler thing for my daughter, or, you know, the knockoff Tiffany basketballs that they're selling for like $150 instead of $500. Or so social media has its place. I mean, it's great for everybody. But if you don't know how to use it, like me, then you need to go ahead and you need to engage someone like Nick at Mahi Media to help you. You know, I've seen some of your stuff. You know, like I've seen your content because you put out stuff for Eclipse Lacrosse. I've seen that. I've seen 1 or 2 of the other clients that you've worked with, and I've seen that. You're helping me with my stuff, you know, putting it out there. So, you know, as somebody that, you know, a business owner, you know, Nick, I have what kind of budget should I have, and, you know, how do I you know, go about, you know, getting started? And I'm not saying go through your prices, but, you know, like what could someone expect if they want to get on Instagram? And, you know, is it a 3-month fix, a 6-month fix? So just give us the general ideas of, you know, like a game plan.
Yeah. So social media can definitely be very overwhelming, especially if you've never done it. A lot of people who aren't very comfortable with it, they don't want to just go do it on their own. The biggest thing I always say to people that think they could do it on their own is I say, go try it, go do it. You do it for a couple days, you do it for a couple weeks. You see how much actual time it takes to put into that. People always think it's just posting. There's a lot more that goes into it than just posting. So again, kind of having a good budget and good strategy for what you're looking for is the most important thing. Maybe you're just trying to get a good following, get your brand out there. That's all you're trying to get out of your social media. You may not need as big of a budget. Again, you want to do paid ads. You want to have a big email campaign. You really want to get pushing out there, and especially doing pay-per-click, you're going to need a little bigger of a budget, and especially long-term. I always say to all my clients, you're never really going to see results that quickly in social media. Things definitely take time. Sometimes you see viral videos. Things happen overnight like that. And that's why you stay so active. That's why you do things consistently. Because all
now,
it
Nick,
takes
is there rhyme or reason why? Like, I know, like in Instagram and LinkedIn, you know, because those are the two that I'm like, I could have one thing that I think is just incredible and it's great, and I'll only get 600, 700 views, but then I can have something that's like, I just threw it up there because I wanted to stay active, and I'm getting like,
and those are the ones that do the best. Yeah. So always,
is there rhyme or reason? And I don't, and please, by no means do I want you giving out trade secrets. I just want to know, is there a reason behind that, a formula behind that? And if so, is that something that you could help people crack? No guarantee, but you know.
So I always, not to say that I hate anything, but I always hate the social media people who call themselves experts that they're going to get you to go viral. There is no formula to go viral. I will tell you that right now. But it doesn't just happen by chance. It still happens by putting in work, being consistent, being active, and certain things will always come into play that give you a higher chance to go viral. Again, that doesn't mean a guarantee, but way more of a guarantee than just kind of saying, go out and do it. And like you said, a lot of the times, the posts that you put zero thought into it end up doing the best than the posts you put up a day worth of time into. So yeah, those are, for me, speaking of experience, those are always the ones that end up flopping, are the ones you put a lot of work into, and the ones you just post, they always do well. So with Instagram, LinkedIn, any platform, they're search engines at the end of the day. So you got to remember, search engines, Google, for example, they all have algorithms. So Instagram algorithms, everyone always complains about those. They change all the time. So no one really ever knows fully what they're doing. Yes, Instagram will tell you a lot of their algorithm tips, and you can kind of learn your tips and tricks your own. And the only way you're going to do that is by being active. For me, I'm on social media 10, 12 hours a day, probably way too much, maybe a little less than that. But someone that's on that much is obviously going to know a little bit more than someone who's only on 2 hours a day. It's all experience. It's all about putting the time in, being active, like I said.
Now, is there a balance in formula? Like, I know way back when I took a LinkedIn class, they would tell you consistency post, meaning you should try to post Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 10 p.m. Stay consistent, stay there, post once a day, every day, or as close to possible. When you're on let's say Instagram, should you be posting 6, 7, 10 times a day, or are you really supposed to be posting like once a day, once every other day? Is there not enough or overkill, I guess is my question.
There can be overkill, but again, you really just want to get your brand out there. I think once a day is more than enough. The biggest thing I always like to push when you're trying to grow is Instagram Reels. So we talked about it. Videography is the biggest thing in social media marketing. No one just wants to see a static post of you any day. No one just wants to see a picture of you anymore. They want to see a video. They want to hear you talking. They want to hear your voice. They want to see your ideas. They want to see you in action, your product in action, whatever it may be. So yes and no, but they really, the best thing to grow is Reels. So yes, post every day, be active. I usually say either 4 to 5 times a week, maybe 5 to 7, trying to get that every day mark. but I would say a post has about 24 hours to like 48 hours of feed life, meaning it's going to be on that feed for about 1 to 2 days. After that, it's not really going to be hitting algorithms anymore. It's not going to be in feeds anymore, but Reels can hit algorithms whenever. So you have a whole separate Reels tab. Maybe it's not hitting people's feed anymore, but it could hit that Reels tab whenever. You could have a Reel from 6 months ago be viral today. So that's the beauty of Reels. You can go viral whenever with Reels. So I always say be active on Reels and on TikTok. TikTok too, there's probably, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but it's around like 40 to 50% of the audience that's on TikTok is not on any other platform. So TikTok, you're reaching a whole different audience that really isn't on Facebook, that really isn't on Instagram. And I say to someone starting out, don't try to do Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok all at once. But there's no reason you shouldn't repurpose your content. So yes, maybe Instagram's our main strategy, but we make a reel on Instagram. No reason you can't go repurpose that and repost it on TikTok, on Facebook. Just getting it out to different audiences, more of an audience. So yes, Instagram's maybe still your focus, and that's where you're actually engaging and being active with the most. But I will always say, repurpose it, repost it everywhere you can.
Unfortunately, with that being said, we're close to the end, but there are so many more questions that I wish I could ask you. So, Nick, what is the best way? Keep in mind that not everybody is watching this. Some people are just listening. What is the best way to get in touch with you? We have on here your phone number. We have on here your website and your email address, info@mahimedia.co, www.mahimedia.co. Find you on Instagram under what? Mahi Media?
Yep, Mahi Media. Find us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok. Like Jason said, best way to reach us, my email, info@mahimedia.co, or our website, mahimedia.co. Yeah, we're always looking to kind of expand with our clients and bring in some new people. We always kind of say we don't have a specific niche, so we kind of work in all industries. We have clients that have millions of followers that are verified. We have clients who we talked about who just started.
That was the word I was looking for, verified. Yeah. So I got two questions for you, and I got a comment. The comment is, I love the clock behind you because this is going to be the first show in a long time that I'm actually going to end on time and not get yelled at. So I love that. So I usually end the show with one hard question, but because I've had so much fun with you, I'm going to give you two hard questions. Okay. Question number one is, you're a Connecticut guy, correct?
Yep.
Best pizza in Connecticut.
I don't even have to think more than a second about that. Frank Pepe. And honestly, I'm a Delray Beach resident now, and they just opened it about 1 or 2 months ago. I'll give them a shout out. They opened up the Frank Pepe's in Delray Beach. So if you're in South Florida and you want to taste real pizza, I never order pizza down here in Florida. Now I finally can.
Well, let me tell you, we were in Connecticut. My son was touring a school in Connecticut. I can't say the name, but he was touring a school in Connecticut. And we went to Frank Pepe's, and it was incredible, out of this world. We went to the one in Delray. It was good. It was good. My wife and my son went back to an event in Connecticut. They went back to Frank Pepe's and ate there. The owner spoke to my son and my wife, and they were talking about different locations they opened up. And the owner said, they're still working out the kinks in Delray. Try it again. So we're going to go try it again because it's worth a shot. It was so incredible in Connecticut. All right. Yeah. My other question is, as a lacrosse guy, your favorite lacrosse player?
My favorite lacrosse player always growing up, and the reason why I always wore number 18 was Kyle Harrison. I ended up playing attack in college, but I was always a midfielder growing up. Kyle Harrison was always one of the best midfielders. I loved his signature jump shot, something always any kid wanted to go do. He won a national championship with John Hopkins. Forgot what year, but I remember I was actually at that when I was like 5 or 6 years old, watching him and Paul Rabel. It was like the coolest thing in the world. But yeah, I always wore number 18. all the way up until college. And that was always after Kyle Harrison. And
my son wore number 18 last year, but he's no longer wearing 18. They have a tradition at his school where they pass numbers down, and someone passed him a number, and he's honored to wear it. So, and what about PLL? That's the Professional Lacrosse League. I'm assuming I could guess who your favorite team is based on someone that you work with, but check out the PLL.
Actually, no, I'm a Water Dogs fan. I'm a big Water Dogs fan.
Don't let him know. Don't let JH know.
I won't let him know.
Because he's with Chaos, right?
I love everything they're doing with it. I love lacrosse. That's why I coach down here, just trying to grow the game. Lacrosse is such a small community, and anyone that coaches in it and has played knows that. Mostly everyone kind of, for the most part, knows everyone. Everyone has a lot of connects in it. So it's all about growing the game. And, the PLL is doing
And I'm going to give a little plug here. If you're in the marketing arena, you're in the social media arena, you're somewhere near South Florida, and you've played lacrosse, reach out to either Nick or myself, because we're always looking to help out people that played lacrosse, help grow the game, help grow your career. We take on interns when it's feasible. So reach out to either one of us. You could get me, Jason, at jswlawyer.com, askjasonweiss.com, and you can get with Nick at mahimedia.co and check out Mahi Media on Instagram. This is Nick Z. I am Jason Weiss. We thank you so much for coming out here, and check out Eclipse Lacrosse in South Florida. This is one of the new coaches over there. Nick, a pleasure. Can't wait to keep working with you on my stuff. Cece, who's running everything in the back, goingsolomedia.com. You are incredible. Thank you so much. And I'm only 2 minutes over. Thank you.